everything changes. In meditation, I got rained, and after a while, I came down to this little place to avoid the rain. It stopped, and then started to rain again. Everything is impermanent. I was watching the bird in the bush out there. I wish I could take a picture of it. He's avoiding the rain, but other roosters wander around. But now it's quiet again. So rain may come and go. It's kind of like a life. And looking at the bird, how to respond in nature's way, you feel it, that they are awake. They respond as needed. If they want, they go under the tree or bushes to avoid, or stay out. Oh, it's allowed. In human case, that may not be so. One of the famous saying by Ryokan, Zen Monk, is when you meet the disaster, just meet. He said this to, I think, one of his friends who got into some trouble, maybe fire or earthquake. So Ryokan sent a letter saying that when you meet disaster, just meet. That's a very open mind, beginner's mind. Be aware of impermanence, and you accept everything as it is. In nature, that's what happens all the time. Of course, if they have some trouble or fire, they make noise and run away. And maybe we are the same. But we may multiply that by delusionally thought, what if, which way to go? Should I or should I not? But if the mind is flexible, calm, snow, meek, being able to respond, just like animals, find the insight by being in the now, at samadhi. Then you're aware. And when you meet the disaster, accept everything as it is. And that's the way to go beyond the disaster, how to deal with it. In the video about this Let's Meditate series I was talking about, some numbers popping up in my mind all of a sudden in the morning. And I looked at the numbers and started to play with it, and I got into it. Like I got sucked up and lost my balance. Didn't last long, but a couple times it happened, so I was surprised. So be aware. And when it happens, by being aware, you know how to deal with it. Awareness, calm and quiet mind. That's why we do meditate, kind of develop a habit so that we can go against that bad habit. So is it a new habit, a good habit? Well, let's call that have it as the nature's way, so that you can see through and utilize the best of what we've got by not just tangled up in the thought, but being able to access unconscious part, the body and heart. Access the unconscious part and become conscious of unconscious, which is Zen Kigen, full utilization of our talent. But if we are caught up in the mind, we just jump around. Leave that jumping around as it is, but breathe in, breathe out. Feel the sensation within. Accept everything as it is. And see as if your mind is detached from that. And let that mind be. Be aware. It's like going against the negative bad habit to develop a good habit. Good habit being connecting the root of who we are, because it's always there. The source of our wisdom and compassion is always there. That brought us, keep us alive. And the natures and the roosters living is just a present representation of that. They don't have much mind, full of intuition, and make the judgment based upon that. Don't be fooled by our mind. Have a calm, quiet mind as a base and connect to that. It's a continuous practice. And breathing in, breathing out, just focusing on that. It's just a way to be aware of that quality in us, to get us to be liberated from the confinement of the mind. It has to be experienced, not in the logic, and live in the mind. Then we can hear the bird, like a bird from the heaven, everything as it is. Be aware. And to realize delusion is the awareness. And that's just that. And move on. It has to be practiced. I see a rooster walking, coming down to this direction. Have a good day.